What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about a little rumor going around, and it is from none other than Emily Rogers. So Emily Rogers posted on Reset Era. It's kind of where she posts all of her thoughts and opinions lately, and she basically is saying another rumor about Wii U ports. This one, of course, isn't that much of a surprise. She's saying that we're going to get 2 more Wii U ports. I'll read this quote directly from her. I can also confirm that Nintendo has at least 2 more unannounced Wii U ports. They are not difficult to guess because there aren't many Wii U games left to port. Also, if you aren't into Animal Crossing, then the first 3 to 4 months of 2020 won't be super amazing for you personally. So she continues going on. Nintendo's obviously treating Animal Crossing as their big March title, so that's something people will just need to accept. So essentially she's saying that we're going to be getting 2 Wii U ports coming in 2020, and we already have Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which is a very niche game on the Wii U. I think it'll do well, though. It's probably the closest to Persona that Nintendo will get, so definitely check that out if you guys are interested in the Persona series. But 2 Wii U ports, let's kind of discuss this a little bit. So my feeling is that we'll get one earlier in the year and we'll probably get one in the summer. And the 2 games that jump out to me is Super Mario 3D World and Pikmin 3. Those are the 2 games that I think make the most sense, although there are a few more. But before I get into some of those, I will say that Nintendo's pacing the first few years of the Nintendo Switch is really poor to start off the year. The beginning of the year is always a drag, and there's always at least one quote-unquote major game, and for the most part, people aren't interested. And this year is no exception. 2020, we're getting Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I know for a fact, even though I'm super excited about it, there is a large demographic of people who aren't that excited about it. So if you aren't looking forward to Animal Crossing, you might get a few ports, a few remasters, and to some people, that's kind of a weird way to start out the year. It's kind of an underwhelming way to start out the year. But Nintendo is probably going to have a Nintendo Direct soon, if not this month, the beginning of next month, to kind of tell us what's going on for the next few months of the year. Going back to the Wii U ports, like I was saying before, new Super Mario 3D World seems to be the biggest fit, seems to make the most sense. Super Mario Maker 2, we did get the 3D World theme. And this game is just a fantastic game to start out with, and I think it would, fit really well on the Nintendo Switch. There's multiplayer in there. For me, it's a game that I hold near and dear to my heart. It got me back into Nintendo for the most part, and also was the beginning of the Captain Toad franchise, which had kind of like the start of the Captain Toad, like some mini games in there. So I love 3D World. Bring it on. As far as Pikmin 3, a lot of people have been saying that Pikmin 3 would come out as the port before Pikmin 4, kind of like a Bayonetta situation where they announced, where they actually released Bayonetta 2 or 1 and 2 last year, and then they released Bayonetta 3 presumably this year. Pikmin 3, it's a fantastic game. I don't know how much I'm going to like it with the gamepad functionality taken out of it. I know for me, the Captain Toad port to the Switch wasn't as enjoyable because the Wii U the gamepad functionality wasn't there. So for me, I still say that the Wii U port is more superior, and I could see the same thing happening with the Pikmin 3 port if it did come to Switch. The other Wii U games that do make sense, we have both of the Zelda games. The Wind Waker game, fantastic port. That's the definitive way to play Wind Waker, is actually on the Wii U, believe it or not. But even the gamepad in that game did a lot. The map was on the bottom. You could do inventory management on the bottom. So I still think that's the definitive way. It's kind of interesting that the Wii U has so many definitive ways to play specific games. And then you have Twilight Princess, which looks fantastic on the Wii U. That would be a pretty easy port. So for me, I don't know if they would release those games individually, more so release them as a dual pack, which honestly would be a great dual pack of games to come out, presumably at that $60 price tag. I don't know if you could really get away with selling Twilight Princess and Wind Waker separately, both for that full price. They would probably need to be $40. Then again, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze enters the chat, and we all know how the pricing model went with that. So what other games could possibly be in there? Well, there's two more wild cards that I've always been talking about. The first one being Paper Mario Color Splash. Although I think not a lot of people really enjoyed the combat system, including myself. I enjoyed the game. I think the writing of that game is fantastic. However, the combat system, there's just way too many steps to even, attack, and the whole card system and how your cards go away. If you haven't played that game, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who have played that game, it's just very cumbersome. Like there's a lot of steps to even play that game. So they would have to seriously kind of rework that game a bit if they're going to port it over. But the game looks beautiful. It's probably one of the best looking Wii U games. So I would love that. The writing's fantastic. So that I would be perfectly fine with that. And then the other game, the big wild card, is Star Fox Zero, which we all know the reception of that instantly just got review bombed and tanked. I mean, you could find it at 5 below. The game really didn't go over well. I personally liked the Wii U functionality. I thought you had to train yourself to play that game. And although the controls did get in the way of that game, it was an enjoyable Star Fox game. And if I'm being honest, I actually prefer it over a game like Starlink. It just felt like a Star Fox game. It definitely had the arcade roots. So a Star Fox Zero port to the Switch isn't completely out of the picture, but I don't know if I see Nintendo taking a big risk, spending a bunch of money to port it over to the Switch, kind of rework some things, add some things to make it a port so people would want to buy it, and then hope that the fans forget about the bomb that was the Wii U. Because a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll look up Star Fox Zero review and they'll get all of these awful Wii U reviews. So that's going to be interesting to see if Nintendo goes that route. But I think the games that are most likely is Super Mario 3D World and Pikmin 3. Those are the ones that a lot of people are kind of talking about the most. And there's also some other wild cards in there. I've heard Wonderful 101 and stuff like that. But Super Mario 3D World, I think, is the biggest, the safest bet. And it'll be very interesting to see what Nintendo does. Let me know in the comment section below which Wii U game is left to port over. Which one would you like to see on your Switch? And guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.